Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi LiveNoding. In this episode, I want to share with you these procedural creations, basically to create some kind of carousel. So this is almost like animatronic, but albeit simple. So you basically you have this bunch of flying pig, and they're kind of rotating, and it's almost like a real carousel. And yeah, it was actually all created simply by using nodes. Except for the pig, of course. The pig was borrowed from Sketchfab. It was from design studio called We Make It, if I'm not wrong. So, but check for Flying Pig and you will find this asset. So, where should I start? I actually, when I created this, it was originally I worked on the pig first before I created the carousel. The carousel is something that I modeled after, just to test the idea. This carousel was created using SVerchok addon, and this is actually really simple. Basically, just a bunch of this is a cylinder objects, another cylinder, and this one, of course, a bunch of cylinder, but arranged in the circle. And I think the hardest part, of course, this guy, but it's not that complicated. It's basically, if I'm not wrong, is this guy over here. So we can change the shape and perhaps even add more details. But that's with the carousel, with this super basic carousels. If I maybe just for now, I'm just gonna hide it. SVerchok doesn't have a way to put it in the collection. For now, I'm just gonna do it manually and hide it. Animation nodes, however, have a way to put it in the collections. By default, it's animation nodes object container, and we have a bunch of pig instance. I have, of course, the original piggy, this little one, and I have this pig that's kind of moving ups and down. Because I'm using a circle mesh, that's why we have one piggy that's kind of in the center. We don't actually need that. Instead of using circle mesh, I probably should have used the distribute matrices and use the circle. So if I use this guy, I just plug this in like that. It's more or less the same. But anyway, don't worry about that for now. So the piggy is moving ups and down. It's actually really simple. At one point, I also make the piggy kind of moving in circle, so it's rotating. But I decided that's gonna be something that I do in AR, so I can have extra control on the rotations. Okay, so with the piggy, it's very simple. So basically, I'm using object instancer, of course. So object instancer is being instanced based on the circle mesh, just the vertices of the circle. So I can at any time increase the number of circle, and all the piggy is still kind of moving ups and down. And the motion, of course, is the responsibility of this object matrix output. So I have this ability to rotate the pig, but I turn it off for now. And this compose matrices where I can scale the piggy, and I'm using combine Euler to rotate the piggy so it's oriented properly. So that's also here in this setup. Probably the most interesting one, even though it is really simple, is the sine wave. Okay, sine wave, of course, doing all the job. Frame multiplier for the frame. This is for the speed, and then we have the we have the offset for each pig. So definitely they're all just moving ups and down using the sine wave, but we have this offset for each one of the piggy, so they're kind of oscillating differently. I can control the speed. I can control how they are positioned in the sine wave. And yes, this one of course control the amplitude of the sine wave, and combine everything together we have the carousel. So let me reload. Yeah, and I actually export this out as AR. Should be here somewhere. So carousel USDZ. I separate the pig animations and the carousel, so I can control the speed of rotations, or I can separate the carousel. Let's say if we are just like we're gonna add the more detailed carousel later, we can do that. We just give the simple basic one for animation test. Oh, reality controller is frozen. Okay, no. So quick test carousel. This app is a bit slow in this Mac OS beta. And the piggy. So once it's become AR USDZ, of course, it's ready to be shared as AR. I thought it's kind of nice to create a bunch of animatronic work. Like this is the piggy, of course, it's not my creations, but it's a nice idea. It's a nice concept. And yeah, go back to here. If we actually want to have more piggy, we can simply do that. Let's say increase this. So we have 13 piggy. We also need to have 13 pole. Okay, the pole material, of course, that's coming from this guy. It's called alpha 6, material 3, so I should have done that. And then the placement of the pole is controlled by the rotation of this circle. So yeah, that's the nature of procedural setup. You can easily make changes. The piggy is probably a little bit too tall. If someone is about to ride the piggy, it should be lower, right? It's too tall, but in this case, doesn't matter. It's just a cute little animatronic, and you can actually embed USDZ, embed some sound or music into the USDZ as well. So it's quite interesting. If you think about it, it's almost like a real object. What else? Okay, the piggy. So with this setup, of course, you can actually use different thing. Parasite. I have actually this. Whoa. So yeah, the parasite looks pretty scary. So instead, I'm using the piggy. So this parasite is something that can be scaled, and then the rotations also something that we can change, but it's the same thing. Basically, we need to offset and make sure they're in the same positions. It's quite interesting. I don't want to use the parasite. This bug looks strange. So yeah, that's basically it. You can easily change the model if they're oriented properly. Okay, back to piggy. But so yeah, let me know if you have any questions or any suggestion. But this is this is the whole setup in Blender. In the older Blender, you actually have Blender game engine. and you can just share the app, but it needs to be run on the computer. But at this time, you can simply export it out as AR USDZ and share it with your friends, and maybe they will like it. I don't know. So there's something about automated, like animatronic, that's kind of appealing, I think. And yeah, it's kind of like an animation that you can share as a 3D, and you don't need to worry about rendering, or because it's just gonna work if it's on the iPhone or iPad. Or in the Android, you need to set up, you need to export it out as GLB first. So that's, I think, a good format for now. Or as some kind of experience, Adobe.reality format. So that's also another format. There's gonna be like all kind of different experience. Or in the real world, actually, the Facebook Snapchat Snap Lens and Facebook and IG Lens, actually, if you use the Spark AR, can do the job and share the experience as AR. But I think it's kind of neat to make something like this procedurally. Ideally, the whole thing should be just an app, and then you just make any 3D objects moving up and down. Okay, so it's really simple, but it's very, very fun to create. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.